My prediction for 2020, there'll be a few more malware in the OT industry. ICS technologies will be targeted a bit more. And the first attacks on distributed energy resources should be seen at some point.
I think it will be next year of growing. I think that every year in the energy market we find new challenges, but with new solutions. That's why I expect new services which can be created together with new, maybe IT companies, with digital companies. Because I believe that we are now at the moment when something new will really become, and maybe it will be in next year.
We will see the first decentralized market on this continent next year.
First of all, we predicted that renewable energy markets will rebound in 2019 from 2018 stalling capacity. I guess in 2020 we will see a higher rebound because of the China and US deployment for onshore wind, where the policies are phasing out.
I wouldn't say in 2020 we will see kind of big changes. I would say we will see a continuity of what's happening already today, and it's quite a lot that is happening today. But I don't expect to see, kind of very big changes that nobody expected, right? Because still, as I mentioned before, the use cases, they need to be defined, technologies, maybe there are different technologies that are required for future use cases. But overall, to cover today's needs and to work towards those 2020 targets, technologies are existing, installations have happened already in the past, and this will continue, maybe with additional use cases in the future.
My prediction, if I had to bet my money, I would say at least 10 gigawatt of new energy storage capacity installed in 2020. We closed 2018 with accumulated capacity of 8 gigawatt. We expect this year to close at 6 gigawatt, even if you're lagging behind. I think I'm seeing what we already saw with the PV growth, and I would say we will have 10 gigawatt of additional capacity installed by the end of 2020.
Acceleration of the ambition level in many countries.
I think the biggest change that we could see would be in that market space. So there's already leaders, I didn't really want to call them out, but like AirGrid, for example, is really a leader in redefining their market. And I think and FERC is another example where they're really thinking about the different types of services that storage assets can provide. I think that's where we're seeing big shifts happening right now. On the academic side of things, coming back to the modeling, we're starting to see some of those models come together and be integrated. But 2020, I think that's still, I think the institutional challenges and that sort of different stakeholders working together, I think that is going to take longer to sort out.
So my prediction for 2020 is that we will discuss a lot more about synthetic methane, because at the moment we discuss more or less about hydrogen as the savers of tomorrow, and I think by next year the mindsets will change a little bit more, that also the green gas is more than hydrogen but more methane, and we have to look closer how to integrate that in our energy systems.
I think that in 2020 we will really start to start our coal phase out practically. So we have promised to our society, to the stakeholders in Berlin, that we will by 2030 we will step out of hard coal. And in 2020 I think that's the year when we really bring all these projects on the road and really start with it. So that's one thing. And on the other hand, then also if you look to an EU level Green Deal of Ursula von der Leyen, I think in 2020 we will we will see how this will be organized and which role also district heating will have in the overall discussion for a European decarbonization, if you like.
I think the first thing is that we hope to see a whole number of policy breakthroughs around the world in different markets. I mean, I've never seen a political situation or a policy environment like the one we're in today, right? I mean, you've seen the stories from New York. I mean, you've seen the opinion polls around the world. I mean, the world is demanding action on climate, and particularly young people are demanding action on climate, and I think that's giving a huge impetus to governments. What we'd like to see is for that to be translated into renewed policy impetus. I mean, renewables is doing well, and we're the biggest source of new power around the world. But we need to be going much faster, and in many places there's still big problems in executing the deployment of capacity at the right speed and the right rate. So, we'd like to see a renewed policy impetus. I mean, next year and 2019 and 2020 are going to be big years for the wind industry, but we need a steady ramp up to go even bigger over the next decade, and that depends on policy frameworks that are being deployed now.